Great. Hello and welcome everyone to the community call for Ignite developers. Today is June 20th, 2024. I'm your host, Tobias Schwarz. I'm Solutions Engineer at Ignite. And today we will be covering what happened in the last month and what will happen in the future with Ignite. So in the last month, we have worked a lot on Ignite apps and actually noticed a little bit confusion within the community. I think this might be due to people developing so-called app chains with Ignite, so a Cosmos SDK app chain. And we have created a workplace where people can extend the usage of Ignite with creating Ignite apps. And this term might have been confusing in the past a little bit. I would like to know your opinion. So we are running a poll within Discord for you to help us make a decision if it should be called Ignite apps, if it's extensions, or maybe even plugin. So the poll is right now live. Please go to Discord and vote so we know what the community thinks about this. We have a couple of extensions and apps in the work called Spaceship, Connect, or the module registry. I will be talking a little bit about all these apps. We look at all the events in the last month and announcements for coming events with our team. We will be hosting a new Code With Us session, so you can live stream with us and code with us a new tutorial that we have published recently. And we are hosting a developer survey. We want to know your opinion about Ignite, what frustrates you or what amazes you with the Ignite software. So let's jump into all the different points. First, we want your engagement. We need your feedback in order to make the Ignite the right tool for the community. Currently, we are hosting this discussion. Should it be called an Ignite app, an Ignite extension, or an Ignite plugin when you extend your CLI with your own functions and programs? So let us know your thoughts. Go to Discord. I can show you that. In the discussion channel, you will find the ongoing poll. So please vote A for Ignite app, B for Ignite extension, or C for plugin. And if you have further names, just comment or let us know your opinion. This is the discussion channel, so everyone can just join it and write whatever you want to talk about, and especially participate in this poll. Your vote is extremely important to us. Thank you. I can actually post the link to the discussion channel. Oh, wow. Jamon, thanks a lot. You've been quicker than me. Okay. What's next with Ignite apps or extensions? So we are brainstorming a lot on which useful apps we might be building or we want to see in the space. So our team is currently working on 3 different apps or extensions. One of them is called Spaceship, and I think you can see a pull request already in the directory. If you go to github.com/ignite/apps, Spaceship is something Danilo is working on, and this is intended to deploy your blockchain on a virtual private server. So this could be from a variety of different offers. Danilo works with a library that allows you to deploy on, I think, all common server hosting platforms. So that would be DigitalOcean, AWS, if it's Microsoft, or if it's Linode, or whatever you have out there. It should be all be working quite seamlessly. And as typical in with Ignite, you deploy locally, you create your module, and then with Spaceship, you should be able to ship it to any hosting provider and then have it online within a couple of minutes. So we hope this would be extremely helpful to everyone who is locally working and then wants to test out deploying your blockchain. Connect is a tool that will be working in combination with the Cosmos SDK team and Julian, who are working on trying to run actually any blockchain out there with Ignite. So connect means you connect to any existing and running blockchain. And instead of currently, we have a lot of problems with different versions of the Cosmos SDK or different implementations of the framework. And this app should allow it and make it easier for you to connect with other blockchains in the ecosystem. And last but not least, the module registry, I think a very important tool for the Cosmos SDK, as modularity is one of our strengths in the Cosmos framework. We have a lot of modules out there, and maybe you want to use a certain set of modules for your blockchain, and the module registry is intended to help you with exactly that, so you can plug in or plug out any modules at will and find them easier in a list of a module registry. So these 3 extensions or apps are currently in the work. We hope to have them ready as soon as possible and hope you can help us beta test them and try them out. I see more and more people joining into the stream. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions if you have that. This is a community call, so it's intended for everyone to raise their voices and opinions and speak about what you're working on, where you have struggles, or what you would like to learn in the future. We have been at the Awesome Wasm event that happened May 28th to May 30th, and it was a great time. We had a great time with hackers. We were sponsoring the coffee booth area, and obviously, when you're hacking, you need a lot of coffee. So I think we've met nearly everyone at this event. It was quite packed, and a lot of great developers, and we had a lot of great discussions. So since this was from the Confio team, it was certainly focused on WASM and WebAssembly Rust smart contracts. And luckily, Ignite does support that. So you can build your own blockchain with the Ignite WASM app and add WASM to your local blockchain or whatever you deployed in the future. So a lot of participants actually tried this out. And it was great to learn that it was helpful to them for local first deployment and then creating their smart contracts on their own local chain, which gives quite some flexibility if you want to just try out stuff on your local blockchain first. And congratulations to all the winners of the Awesome Wasm event. One of them is in our stream. So congrats to getting the first place, actually. And yeah, I hope to see much more hackathons, and hopefully Ignite can be helpful to you to be more successful at hackathons. The next event I want to raise awareness for is the Nebula Summit. This will happen in July 12th and 13th in Brussels, in Belgium. And Julian will be a speaker at the event, and we'll talk about the future of blockchains, of Cosmos SDK blockchains, and how Ignite can help build you modular blockchains. So don't miss out the Nebula Summit. And if you can't make it in person, stream in or watch the recording later. I'm sure Julian has a lot of great points to cover there. We are not stopping giving you new tutorials, so we have published a couple of new tutorials. So head over to tutorials.ignite.com. We also have at least 4 more tutorials in the pipeline that we hope to publish in the next 2 weeks. So make sure to subscribe so you get an email every time we push new tutorials. They might be helpful to you in learning the Cosmos SDK jungle and how to get most productive with Ignite. So this is the website. The latest tutorials have been the DeFi loan tutorial. A lot of you are aware of this tutorial. It's been a long-time classic with Ignite and helps you build a new module where you build loans, where people can give loans and others can request for loans, and then everything gets settled on the blockchain. We've written a small piece about sovereign rollup Rollkit apps. Julian has made it possible to use Rollkit apps with Ignite. So you can scaffold a new chain, use the Rollkit app from Ignite, and and then have your own Rollkit app. So this can be useful if you want to not store all the data on your main chain, but want to have other chains which can host data and then synchronize with the main blockchain. So feel free to try out the Rollkit. It's a couple of commands, but then you should be set up very quickly to have your own Rollkit app. Excited to see what people will build with this. And don't forget to join our Code with Us session. We will be hosting one on next Wednesday. I'll be your host at the Code with Us session. We will be going to through the tutorial to create a module for a decentralized verification module. And on this, the idea is that people can submit certain data to the blockchain and actually just, in this case, a hash or maybe a ZK proof would be submitted to the blockchain, and everyone who has the real data and can hash that with the same function can confirm that that this data has been submitted to the blockchain, since the hash is then open for everyone to see. I hope to see many of you. It should be a straightforward tutorial, but I think with quite some insights about how Ignite works and what ideas you can play around with building your own modules. Yeah, we're going step by step to try to get feedback from our users and get them into a discussion on where you think Ignite should be heading next or where we need some improvement. So we are hosting the developer feedback survey. I will post the link also in the chat right now. So if anyone wants to give us feedback, feel free to click on this link and fill out the survey. Any information about your struggles or where you think Ignite could shine even better than we are, let us know, and please be as honest as possible. Actually, this was already all the updates about the last weeks. So we've been traveling a lot to meet different developers. We will continue to travel to certain events, to certain conferences, to meet you in person. It's always great to have a personal talk sometimes to get to know each other better. So if you want to meet us, make sure next time Nebula Summit and get into the discussion with us. Any questions from the community right now that I might be answering? Feel free to unmute yourself and start talking.
I was also maybe going to add something, Tobias and Julian. Well, last week, we were, I guess it was last week, time is flying, but we were at a team retreat with the Ignite team, and we had some pretty good discussions, some of which are still being discussed, some of which are, and I was just curious if maybe Julian or could give us a quick overview. I know we talked about the in-place testnet creation, which will be an upcoming bounty that we're looking into. I didn't know if we wanted to like open up a brainstorming a little bit about what we classified as the Ignite module API, Julian. Maybe, yeah, just like share a quick recap of at least what we can from our discussions. Yeah.
So yeah, what as Tobias earlier mentioned, like we're working on the module registry app, and before that, for instance, this app needs some wiring, some API from Ignite. So basically, when you are doing scaffolding, we want to allow Ignite apps or Ignite extension, to use Ignite APIs to do custom scaffolding in their app. So for instance, we use that in the Rollkit app and the Wasm app, where we are scaffolding things above what Ignite by default scaffold. And in that case, of those scaffolding API, we were thinking of adding a module scaffolding API, so you can easily add modules programmerly in a new chain and other sort of APIs. And those APIs, we're actually going to use them as well, because they're useful for developers and for ourselves. And that allows us to easily integrate like in apps such as a module registry, where you're able to quickly add new modules directly in the chain. And we're even thinking of like a small teaser of adding scenarios. So we'll quickly mention that, which was having right now Ignite scaffolder chain with basically all the SDK module and all the IBC module. So it's like easy for the user to just have everything and get ready and start their chain and all. But you don't always need all the modules in your chain. If you're not going to do any NFT stuff, or if you're not going to do any whatever group, if you don't need group, you don't need those modules. So we're thinking of having scenarios that will include as well third-party modules or third-party components. Like there is, for instance, a nice module fee abstraction from Osmosis that we could, in the scenario, if you want to DeFi a chain, we could include this module by default. And things like that. There is other. We can think of any scenario basically that's a bit like determine which default module you'll have. We have like currently a minimal chain with like the minimum required module to start a chain. Ignite by default like only focus on standard module for maintainability and just providing the user experience, as we do not control any other module. But thanks to the scenario, thanks to that module API that we're building, you'll be able to just like don't have to actually think of, oh, do I need this module now? This will be like pre-and pick by Ignite. So you can just don't worry about it and just make use of all the new stuff that are being built outside of the default Cosmos ZK module, outside of the default IBC modules. And that's where the module registry will help. The module registry will be a third-party component built by contributed as well by Ignite, and the app will be developed by Ignite, and all of this will just globally improve the UX for developers, and especially developers that do not know too much about the Cosmos SDK, so they can discover module easily and just have directly the correct module that they would like to use already pre-configured with the right configuration in general. I don't know if it makes sense for you.
Thank you, Julian. I think it's amazing. Actually, it's exciting developments that takes a lot of work off the shoulders from developers if you can choose which modules you go with initially, and even if we can make a few decisions for the developers which modules are most helpful for certain use cases, I think this will boost development by another step. So that sounds great. Thanks.
Maybe there was one other point that we could just share with everyone. I think, Julian, you mentioned working on an upcoming patch release. I don't know if that's happened or everyone should be stay tuned for it.
Right. So we've got, as always, we've crashed some bugs in the previous release. So there is like currently there were some routing issue basically in a V28 scaffolded chain where when you make an upgrade, basically the upgrade module wouldn't see the correct module and just rerun the instances of those kind of other bugs. There is like, I believe a small issue was an app that we're fixing. So for all of this, we will just burn all those bug fixes in the patch release end of this week or beginning next week, depending on how fast we're done with it. So yeah, it will be great to upgrade. We have as well a migration tool that allows you to check the diffs between the scaffolded chain by Ignite, let's say v28.0.0 to a newer version of Ignite. And I would recommend you to use that tool to just see the little difference in scaffolding that you have to apply when you upgrade or where you actually want to have your chain up to date with like the latest fixes. Because usually this is not necessarily a bug in Ignite itself. We have bug in Ignite that we are fixing, but this is mostly like a wiring issue that something wasn't properly wired that we have been fixing, but this is not automatically migrated when you upgrade Ignite. So this is good to check with this migration tool. I believe there is a tutorial about it. I'm not sure, or maybe it's coming. Spoiler, I don't know.
Yeah, it's in the draft. Actually, we can consider releasing it. Actually, with the new version. So as soon as version 28.4.1 gets out, we can also, maybe earlier already, publish this tutorial. So let's synchronize in that.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Raul.
Hi. I only want to comment about an issue that is about the once model integration that I've been testing for a while. I think I started one month ago. I know Julian is on it. I know also that you were in a retreat and you are very busy with the new version. But I only want to say that I'm willing to create a new testnet for test this issue. If you want, I'm ready to help with my assets and my experience in the grading. Okay, only that.
Thanks a lot, Raul. You have been so helpful already in the past, and you're offering even more help. So glad to see. Thanks a lot for your involvement.
Thanks to you. I think it's very important and interesting, the tool for the migration, because sometimes our own development takes more time than the Ignite is releasing. So sometimes I found myself with a previous version of Ignite developing something that has changed a lot in the new version, or a lot, or quite different, but it's maybe you need to refactor something. So I think it's very important and interesting to have that tool. I think I tested I tested once, and it gives you a lot of info about the old and new, and it's a comparison. I think I tested in the first commits that you sent. So good work. I like it. Yeah.
I will make sure to publish the tutorial as well, so it's easier to find. The tool right now it's in the CLI, but it lives under the tools that Ignite provides, and so the tutorial should give you some basic instruction. What you're doing is basically you say, I want to migrate from, let's say, version 28.4 or from version 0.22 to 28.4. You input both versions. It scaffolds a blockchain with both versions and makes a comparison for you, a diff. And that can be very helpful for migrating your chain. The tutorial also speaks about a slightly different approach. What has been successful to many developers in the past is to scaffold with the new version and manually port over all the modules that you have created, and then debug against all the problems you're running into. So these are both options to migrate your chain from an earlier version to the latest version, and find probably your best way to migrate. Both of them can lead to success actually quickly. Do we have any more questions? If not, I would say thanks a lot to all the participants for joining the Ignite community call. We'll see you next month in the community call, but I hope I see some devs next Wednesday for the Code With Us session. I'm considering to do another Code With Us session quite quickly after this. I think, and this time not with my own tutorial. I was considering to go through the Rollkit tutorial, where also Ignite is used to build your own Rollkit chain. And it's probably the Strangelove team who has put out a great tutorial. So maybe we just walk through that together as well in another Code With Us session following soon after. Or if you want to see anything covered, let us know. We are available to you in Discord. If you want a certain use case, if you want to see it in Code With Us, that we walk it through together, yeah, that would also always be great to have your input and then go through it together. That would be fun. So let us know if you have any of those requests in Discord. You always find us on ignite.com, and all the links will be present on the website. So if you're looking for anything. Thanks a lot for your time, and see you next week or next month again.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Nice weekend.
Bye.
Bye.